What's going on, everybody? Happy Resurrection Day for those who celebrate. I'm Raji Anthony. I'll be your host today for Nerdcamp Sports. I got my other co-hosts here, Mike Williams, R&B, and Will, Coach Will. How's everybody doing, man? From a scale of 1 to 10.
About a four.
Okay. Was that
Positive
you?
photo.
Was that that's R&B said that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Will?
I say 6.5, 7,
Oh, that's
six,
good.
7, 6, 7. As the kids say. I might
Oh
be.
God.
The kids might not even be saying it no more, but you know. What I'm saying?
Right. All right. All right.
Oh
Mike.
man. I would say I'm at about an 8.
Okay.
About an
Okay.
8.
Well, I'll
You
say I'm
know.
at a 5. I wish I was at a 6 because this weather don't want to make up its mind like we talked about. I ended up catching a pretty nasty cold, but it's all good, man. We're here to talk sports. We're gonna get right to it, man. It's been a crazy, crazy week. A lot of injuries, a lot of changes of people going to different cities and quarterbacks getting signed. It's a lot going on, fellas. So I think we should start with the obvious, with the Luka Doncic and the Austin Reeves injury. Now, according to multiple reports, Luka is going to be out anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks with a hamstring grade 2 injury, and Austin Reeves with an oblique injury will be out for at least 4 weeks. Where do you guys see the Lakers being during the playoffs, knowing that the playoffs is about 2 weeks from now? The play-in is actually on the 14th of April. Where does the Lakers stand in the third place, and do you guys see them making it to the Western Conference Finals, or do you see Austin Reeves and Luka coming back?
It's over before it even begins.
Yeah.
It's over. There's no way around it. LeBron by himself in Cleveland early in his championship playing couldn't get the job done. What makes me think at 41, 23 years in or 21 years in, LeBron's going to be able to do it now? And even if you get Reeves and Luka in back, they're not going to be a true 100%. So to me, and we've seen just recently them get eliminated by the Timberwolves in the postseason in the first round. So to me, it's the same old song, same old dance. Not saying is it impossible? Of course not. But on top of that, even if you were to surpass Minnesota, you're gonna run into OKC. You're gonna run into San Antonio. You're gonna run into Denver. You're gonna run into someone who's gonna just rough you up. So I hate to say it, but it's over before it begins. And I seen a clip. I don't know if you guys seen it. When Luka went down, there was he fell on the floor or whatever, and he was holding his head. He was like all messed up, and there was a fan that was screaming, "That's what you get for not playing defense."
Wow.
Yeah.
And then Austin Reeves was pissed, like they were trying to hold him back, and he was like, "Yo, he's hurt. Have some fucking respect. He's hurt. That's like a heckler, right?"
Yeah.
But then to me, then Reeves goes down after. So you kind of did you kind of maybe get what you deserve too? Maybe you should have. I understand you defending your teammate and all that, but maybe you shouldn't have went so hard. Like he kept saying it again and again. So the Lakers have come together and have played better, but that's as a cohesive unit. Or more, they've been available more, but to me, this is over before it even begins, and the Lakers will probably be eliminated, in my opinion, in the first round, and if they survive that, they're definitely gone by the second round.
Okay. That's fair. It definitely seems like they're going to be dealing with a lot of difficulties, especially with the West being as loaded as it is. And we're going to get to that a little bit later about the challenges of the West. But R&B, what's your thoughts about the Lakers and their potential making it to the Western Conference Finals and the Luka and Reeves situation?
Um. Well, honestly, I didn't really have them going to the Western Conference Finals before the injuries. To be honest with you, that I feel like they may have had a puncher's chance. Yeah, I give them that, being with the talent that they got in LeBron, Luca, and Reeves coming into his own this season or whatever. But I personally have to agree with Mike on this one. I think that that's all she wrote for this season. I'm not gonna say that I don't think LeBron at this age couldn't lead a team throughout a playoff run, because I think he can. But I'm gonna say is that I don't think that he has necessarily prepped and prepared himself to do so, because he didn't see himself having to do that. So he's kind of taking a back seat to this third position behind Luca and Reeves for the betterment of the team. And I don't think it's just easy to just flip the switch and turn it on and just be like, okay, I'm gonna be LeBron of old all of a sudden to get through the playoffs and wreak havoc. So with that being said, I just think that that it's over, because I think Reeves is what they say, maybe 2 to 4 weeks or something like that. And then Luca possibly to miss the entire first round. So like I just don't see it, because the West is just so stacked and so thick with talent. It's just gonna be damn near impossible for them to really, do anything with that. So that's where I'm at with it. Sorry
Okay.
for my Lakers.
Yeah. Yeah. Will, what's your thoughts about the Lakers situation?
A few weeks back, we were talking about this, and I literally told y'all like nothing would surprise me with the Lakers. If they wound up winning the championship, I wouldn't be totally surprised. Not
Hmm.
that I was picking them to win it, but you know what I mean. That wouldn't surprise me. But I also said if injuries hit and everything fell apart, like you know what I mean. So I'm not surprised at all by this. Um, I do, again, I never felt like they had the best chance, what I mean, to begin with, but I wasn't gonna count them out just with the talent that they had. And even all of that was before they kind of went on this run the last few weeks.
Hmm.
Um,
Mhm.
I agree with pretty much everything everybody said. Only thing I disagree with R&B on is like, look, I don't think they about to do it. Do I think LeBron is still capable of like leading in that way? Yeah, because he spent this whole we really just started talking about him in the last couple of months, not trying to be that guy anymore, because he done spent the last 23 years being that guy, right?
Hmm.
So I don't feel like it would be an issue for him to shift gears. I just don't feel like he got the talent around him to be able to do that. He can't do it like he did it 10, 15 years ago, or whatever the case may be. Um, I don't think it would be an issue so much for him to shift gears into that position. It's just that they're so top heavy with him, Austin Reeves and Luca, and with Reeves and Luca, what I mean, having the injuries they have right now. Even if LeBron started looking like 2012, 2013 Brown again, I don't think it's enough around him without Luca and Austin Reeves to even, what I mean, kind of make that a realistic possibility to really kind of put up a real fighter's chance anyway. Um, Again, with it's so many variables in the West right now. I don't believe in Houston. Because everything I said about them all season, which was basically they don't have a point guard. Um, Denver, I know they've been going crazy and balling lately. I know they beat San Antonio last night, but
What a
injuries
game,
is
by the
always
way.
an excellent game, right? But always injuries are always a concern with Jamal Murray, because he tends to get hurt around this time of year. Not hating on him, but we done seen it enough times that you got to worry about that kind of thing. And Jokic, been playing hurt for a while now. Um, again, San Antonio is San Antonio. I still just with Wemby and the injuries, you know what I mean. I feel like they always one play away from, you know what I mean, him being hurt. Like it's nothing will really surprise me in the West right now. Absolutely nothing would surprise me in the West. Um, outside of those top 6 teams or so that we've been talking about, nothing will really surprise me because there's so many variables at play. Um, it's a lot of different things that can happen between now and then, where we see any one of 5 or 6 different teams finding themselves in the finals representing the West. It's just this whole season has just kind of been crazy like that. So yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree, and I think it's a game of attrition. I think that
Mhm.
unfortunately the most healthiest team in the West will win, and there's a lot of talent out there. There's San Antonio Spurs, of course, OKC at the number one spot. Um, you mentioned Denver, the Nuggets. They have an opportunity if everyone can stay healthy. But then there's those bottom feeders. There's those teams that you got to look out for. Those teams that's like a playing team, like the Suns. The Suns is one of those teams that you don't want to meet in the playoffs. There's a few other teams as well, but the point is, honestly, I don't think this is the season for the Lakers to have a deep run in the playoffs. I think they're a season away or 2 seasons away from a deep playoff run. But I also think that they got to move on from LeBron James. Excuse me. All right, moving on. NBA topic, real quick. We're gonna start with Will. This Jaden Ivey situation, right? Last week he
Mhm.
went viral. He said some discouraging things about Detroit.
I just shared a video to y'all in the chat. Jaden Ivey last night preaching in the
Yeah,
streets.
yeah. I don't know what's going on with him. We're gonna start with Will, then go to R&B, and then Mike. Will, what's your thoughts on Jaden Ivey's situation with the NBA now coming down on him with the Bulls releasing him as well for what he said about um, Pride Night?
Um, I I stand on what I said when we were talking about this last week. Even though we got more information now, like I just kind of saw, like I'm not questioning his faith and his spirituality. But if y'all remember last week, I was saying like I don't even know if he wanted that contract. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like this is where he's at right now. I don't think he was concerned about having an NBA contract. I don't know if he is just really, really leaning into his spirituality, his spiritual self. I don't know if he's having, you know what I mean, some kind of break uh, because of what he's dealing with in his professional life. You know what I'm saying? Especially as young as he is, like he never really got a chance to really, he's had some moments to where, you know what I mean, if he was watching, you saw that it was something there, but he's never really got an opportunity to really, show who I'm sure he feels like he is as an NBA player and as an NBA talent. So I just again, without having any real connections to him, everything I'm seeing, I just feel like he's going through a mental space, a mental break, some kind of struggle, some kind of depression, some kind of trigger, some kind of trauma. It could be things that ain't got nothing to do with basketball, and that the basketball part of it is, you know what I mean, kind of triggering all of these things. Um, but I don't really think it's about basketball right now. I just really feel like he got some demons that he battling and that he's fighting. I wish him all the best, you know what I mean, on the court, but more so off the court in his personal life. Because I feel like this is real life shit. Like, not even talking about the basketball, the NBA of it. I was telling Ryan earlier this week, like, I don't know if y'all remember Titus Young. He played receiver for the Lions for a handful of years. Got drafted by the Lions, but this situation is kind of reminding me of, you know what I mean, what he was going through. Not people not really this was before people started kind of understanding and accepting publicly that, you know what I mean, mental health issues can really be, is a real thing that people really deal with or whatever the case may be. And it's still, a lot of challenges with people understanding that, because people think people think everybody in the NBA and the NFL and Major League Baseball is rich, you know what I mean, and multi millionaires, and life is all good. And it's like, no, that's not the reality of the situation. Even if you are a multimillionaire, that don't mean that you're happy with your life. You know what I'm saying? And that all this pressure that come with, you know what I mean, these situations, that don't mean that you're handling all of that well. People just assume that you do, you know, and that's not always the case. So I really feel like this is not even a sports thing. I feel like this is like his life. You know what I'm saying? That I'm concerned about for him as a man, particularly as a black man, you know. So beyond the sports and all of that stuff, man, I just wish him the best. And hope that he can find some peace and some, you know what I mean, peace of mind with all the demons that he's battling. And whatever his future holds, I just, you know, hope the best for him, man. Because this is like we done seen this a lot of times, but I don't know if we've ever seen like it happen kind of like this quick, at least from our perspective. You know what I mean? This quick, like kind of overnight, where it go from 0 to 100 like that. So
I agree. I agree. Definitely. R&B, what's your thoughts on the Jaden Ivey situation and the new information that came out?
No, I'm not privy to the new information that came out as far as what he had to say about Detroit. What was that?
No, he was just saying about Detroit Pistons won't matter during Judgment Day, which I thought was hilarious because he's played for Chicago Bulls. I'm like, I don't understand that. So, you know, he's been just ranting. So nothing too serious.
Man, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna take it on a different angle. Dude, definitely going through some depression and mental issues or whatever the case may be. But I'm not gonna give him that crutch because I feel like in today's society, all too many times we as a people, and that's everybody, love to try to live on that shit. Oh, a mental illness, this mental illness, that. Everybody try to use that shit for some type of excuse somewhere. Then that's not to say that he's not going through anything. I think he's battling, straddling both sides of the fence. He don't know where he really want to be. He's going through his depression from and stuff that he was dealing with within the injury spectrum of things, getting traded, you know, from the Pistons and how that went down, how things went down with Chicago. And I think that this is also stuff that he probably was already feeling and knowledgeable about on the inside that he felt like he couldn't really, you know what I'm saying, let off his chest. And now that you know, he's been waived or cut the way he was cut and everything going on, I think he just kind of took it as the opportunity to, you know, get some of the shit out there that you know, that he wants to, you know, speak on. And in certain cases, you know, just being a religious type of brother, and I said religious type of brother, I'm not mad at him. Some of the shit that he talking about, you know, is real. Yeah, it might be funny to us and coming from a place of he heard of depression, but he's right. Yeah, Detroit Pistons won't matter come Judgment Day. It's a lot of shit that won't matter come Judgment Day. That's why it's called Judgment Day. But my question is, what the hell do that have to do with, you know what I'm saying, with you being released from the Chicago Bulls and being able to, you know what I'm saying, get back on your shit, you know what I'm saying? So it's like he's straddling, like, brother, do you want to be a preacher or do you want to be a basketball player? You know what I'm saying? Like, which one is it? Do you like, hey man, you got to pick a side. You got to pick a side, you know, that you want to ride for. And that's what I feel like he kind of outside of the depression and stuff like that. That's what I feel like he really battling with. He trying to pick a side. He don't know which side he really want to ride for. From what I seen, his white wife, you know what I'm saying, or his fiance, I seen some information that said that she pretty much you know, turned her back and unfollowed him on everything, and it has you know, kind of cut off communication, which is why I say, you know, brothers need to stop fucking with these damn red people, but you know, because they ain't gonna have your back when the shit hit the fan, you know what I'm saying. But he just going through a lot, man, and he just straddling a lot. But being the type of person that I am, I feel there's a lot of truth to a lot of stuff that he's speaking on. But people are not gonna take him serious or see it as serious talk because of the situation that he's using to speak on it. That is coming from, and that's sad.
Okay. Mike, what's your thoughts on the Jaden Ivey situation?
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with anything anyone has said, but I'm going to say this, and this is a little far fetched from it, but it's another angle. Kanye West recently apologized for some comments he made and sold out a arena in Los Angeles. So to me, if and people were there, and the man even got Lauryn Hill to come out. Lord knows if the woman was on time, but he got her to come out. And to me, if he can do that after everything he said, and and he has said some crazy shit over the years since, that year where he lost his mom and then his fiance, and after that, it just took over. This man will come back from these comments and whatever he's going through. God bless you.
Thank you.
He'll come back from these comments or what have you. I think, I don't understand, like, what R&B said is what Chicago has to do with Detroit. They just clinched the first seed in the Eastern Conference for the first time in, I forget how many years, 20 something years or whatever. So, like, at the end of the day, they're a favorite to win. Right now, the Chicago Bulls aren't even relevant. So, I don't know. But I do understand Will's point about the mental health, and I agree with that. But I also understand to an effect that what R&B saying is, people use mental health as a cop out.
Mm-hmm.
That it's kind of like if you hurt your back, right? Like if I hurt my back and my job's like, we need you to come back to work, and I say my back still hurts. There's no testing that a doctor can do to prove that my back is hurt or not. If I'm telling you it hurts, you can't tell me that it's not hurting, even if it doesn't hurt, right? So it's the same thing. People will be like, my mental health. And, there's no rules to saying, oh, you need to go to a doctor and get diagnosed with depression or anxiety and go on medication. Those medications control your mind anyway. So you really shouldn't take them or try to stay away from them if need be. However, hold on. However, people do use it as a cop-out at times. Not everyone, but people do. That's all I got.
Just the particular analogy that you used, I've been on both sides of that. And I think I told you I hurt my back at work, and they tried to force me back to work, and I worked in juvenile detention. And it's like, fuck y'all, because it ain't no way I'm going back in there and I'm not straight. If I can't protect myself, I can't protect the kids, I can't do the job, whatever the case may be. And then on the mental health side of it, you guys are right. People do use that shit as an excuse. That don't mean that when it actually happens that it's not a valid thing. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean that we can just, assume that because some people use that shit. Again, I don't know whether he is or he isn't, because I made it very clear, like, I'm not involved in his situation like that. But on the outside looking in, when y'all ask about what the Pistons got to do with anything, they the motherfuckers that drafted them and traded them. That sounds like trauma to me and a trigger to me. You know what I'm saying? The Bulls are the ones who cut him, but his pain is coming from whatever happened with the Pistons situation.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when y'all ask that question, as somebody who been through what I've been through and studied a little bit what I done studied, that's what I'm seeing and that's what I'm hearing. What I don't do is allow every NBA player to say, well, I done been through this, that, and the other. And so now when I'm struck, no, I'm talking about this particular situation right here. Yeah, y'all right. Some people do use that shit as a crutch. Even as a coach, I tell my kids with diagnoses and shit like that and their parents, we not going to use this shit as a crutch. I understand that shit 1,000,000%. I'm speaking on what, like, the red flags and what I'm seeing and what I'm observing in his situation, not in a general sense situation of what people do.
Right. Absolutely. And those are definitely some valid points. We know that that Jaden Ivey's history with Detroit goes deep, with his mother being one of the players that played in the WNBA and also played on the WNBA team out there in Detroit. So there's a connection there. There's definitely something there. And like you said, like Will said, there's some type of trauma when it comes down to the team that traded him, the team that drafted him. There's something there, but we just got to just keep him in our thoughts and prayers and hope that he can find his peace and say his truth. But moving forward, we got some more NBA topics. The next one being Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis right now is going through it with the Bucks, and honestly, I don't even know why, but I'll get to my point later. But we're gonna start with Mike because the Bucks are asking Giannis to sit out the rest of the season. What is your thoughts on this, Mike? And do you think Giannis and the Bucks can come to a meeting?
There's a lot. That's a loaded question, only because there's so many layers to this whole situation, right? So, you go back to right before they won the championship, and if one of you guys, if I have this wrong, please correct me. I believe that he signed an extension right before that, right before they won for like 5 years or something. And people questioned why he didn't want to leave. And I remember him saying that he believed he can win a championship in Milwaukee. He did that. Things went good. Things are good when you win a championship. But then, since then, they've been first round exits. He's been hurt towards the end of the season. And he hasn't been able to be available to help them win. Because Giannis is an all-in player, meaning if you don't have him, you're not winning. It's just that simple. Then you look at, them bringing in Dame, even prior to that, I remember, early in his career, he was upset when they fired Jason Kidd. He thought it was his fault from some of the things I had read at that time. Then you fast forward a little bit, and I'm a little all over. You got Dame. I read that he didn't like that trade. Yeah, he didn't want Dame to go. So you look at the things the organization has done, and then you fired your coach who was doing good, and I don't remember his name, and then you bring in Doc Rivers.
Budenholzer.
No,
not Budenholzer.
They won a championship with Budenholzer. Then they fired Budenholzer. Then they brought in
after his brother died in the car accident too.
Wow, it was Griffin.
Griffin.
They brought him in
and fired him. What, halfway through his first season, and brought in Doc
Rivers.
Yeah.
For Doc Rivers,
which Doc was already a consultant when they brought in Griffin anyway.
Which didn't make no damn sense. Anyway, it was
he basically snuck his way into that job.
Yeah.
So you look at that, and then you look at trade rumors, and you look at, is he leaving? Is he staying? Is he in? Or is he out? To me, at this point, the Bucks are playing games with him, in my opinion. And if I'm Giannis at this point, like you've done everything you can for this organization. And I get, from a business perspective, him sitting out could be smart because the season's lost, right? Like there's no way to get in at this point. The 1 through 10 is what it's going to be. Everyone else under that is out. So to me, from a business perspective, that's bad. That's good for the Bucks. But for Giannis, it's like, bro, if I'm healthy enough to play, let me go out there. So to answer the original question, just looking at that little bit of history, from my perspective at least, they can sit down and talk, but I think it's best if they go their separate ways. The Bucks are not going to be able to construct another team, in my opinion, to compete for a championship. And the way the league is going, they have tried to hold on to a lot of those same pieces and run it back. And what year did they win the championship? Was that 2021, 2022?
21, I think that was.
Yeah.
You're 5 years removed. Giannis is 5 years older. Obviously, we know he can still play, but it's time to to meet, yes, but to meet and talk about what we can do to move on and what can make both sides as happy as possible. I don't know. I don't think Giannis has a no trade clause.
No, he doesn't.
So that's my take on it. It's time. It's time to split up. It's time for a divorce. Time to go to divorce court.
R&B, what's your thoughts on the Giannis and the Bucks situation?
Man, I agree with a lot of what Mike had to say. I'm gonna just add a little bit more into it. The reason why I feel like it's not necessarily time to meet, is just time to go ahead and do what both sides need to do in part ways, is because they both want to, which is the reason that they both want to do this. That's why they bumping heads right now. Milwaukee wants to sit Giannis down because they don't want to risk injury, which would bar in any type of involvement with somebody wanting to get involved with a trade to for them to make for him or whatever. If he get hurt, you stuck with him at that point. If he go out there, we know that he got a history of these sore calf injuries or these minor calf injuries. If he go out there and he tear his Achilles, you damn near stuck with him at that point. Or if you are able to move him, let's say you able to get, move him to like a Golden State or something like that, you're not going to get the house for him. You're not going to get a house for a torn Achilles Giannis like as you would a healthy Giannis or from anybody. You know what I'm saying? We all know Golden State is supposedly, that team that's at the top of the list of trying to, make the move to get him. So, and on Giannis's side, I think he's saying that, hey, we all know Giannis is he's wired like that. He's wired differently. He's not like a lot of the new style NBA players. He wants to play. That's one thing. But another thing is he also wants to play because he wants to prove that he is still good and can still play at a high level, so that a suitable trade suitor will try to come and grab him up from up out of there, out of this situation. So I think this is finally at a time where we'll probably see this come to a head this summer. You know what I'm saying, during the whole free agent frenzy and trades and all that type of stuff. I think that he'll finally be moved out of Milwaukee. Who knows where it'll be? Like I said, I recently I've been seeing the Golden State is that team that's at the top of the list to try to make a move to get Giannis. But I think it's time, man. That's what my thoughts are on it. I've been said in my book, Ryan's personal how he looks at things book, not the world spectrum or everybody else, but my book of how I look at it. He's done what he needed to do, which is he stayed there. He fulfilled his obligations there. He delivered a championship there. He played at a high level there. So if he now wants to move on and go somewhere else and try to win more championships and continue to win, hey, I don't have no problem with it. It's time for it, and he should be welcome to do so.
Yeah. All right. Well, what's your thoughts on the Giannis and Bucks situation?
I'm gonna give y'all a wrestling analogy. Giannis and the Bucks is Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior. Nobody wants to be the bad guy. You know what I'm saying? Both guys got to be the good guy. Giannis, we all know. Look, I ain't sat down and had a conversation with Giannis or his representation or Thanasis or any of the other Antetokounmpo brothers. But we all know that Giannis want to be out of Milwaukee, and he's been wanting to be out of Milwaukee, right? We all know at this point, and Ryan made that point, like, they trying to sit him because they can't risk him getting hurt. You know what I mean? Because at this point, they've made their peace with, Giannis ain't staying, and they're ready to trade him. But Giannis don't want to come out and publicly say trade me, and the Bucks don't want to come out and publicly say, you know what, maybe it's time for us to move on. Instead of them just coming together and saying, you know what, we all understand that this is what needs to happen right now. We all know that Giannis is Giannis, and this is interesting because with all the conversation about the 65 games, you know what I mean, to be able to be MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, All NBA, like the players are getting killed because everybody say that they want to load manage and they don't want to play. You got a guy in Giannis who wants to play. We all know he wants to play. Remember, I was just saying this last week. When we talk about this kind of shit, it's usually not the players, it's ownership and front office leadership that dictate these kinds of decisions. And now we got a player that's coming out and saying, like, no, I'm healthy. I want to play. And they won't let me play. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they all need to grow the fuck up, man the fuck up. You know what I mean? Acknowledge what it is that everybody that, you know what I mean, for the most part follow the NBA know. It's time for Giannis and the Bucks to part ways. It probably should have happened, you know what I mean, last offseason. Which is what Giannis is pissy about, because we all know he wanted to be traded last summer. You know what I mean? And the Bucks went and got, they stretched and waved Dame and spent that money on Miles Turner, and we see how that shit turned out. Like, man, that the more than almost any team I could think of, other than maybe Toronto with the Kawhi year, the Bucks rolled the dice, gambled, and won. Again, that championship run that they had, it's so much that went their way. It's so much that went their way during that playoff run, whether it be injuries or, you know what I mean, again, Chris Paul choking down the stretch in game 6 in the finals, and but him and Book, you know what I mean, made some poor plays. Like, it's so much. Every championship team need that to a degree. Don't get me wrong. But it's so much that went Milwaukee way that year. And outside of that one year, we can't really say that any other year, like, they were really, like, we looked at them as contenders. But again, Giannis got a lot of first and second round losses on his resume. You know what I'm saying? And he's been to the Eastern Conference Finals twice. Once they won, the year they won the championship. Once they lost to a team that everybody thought they were supposed to beat, Miami. You know what I mean? Like, they rolled the dice and won that one season. You know what I mean? And now they just got to cash their chips in and move on. And I'm talking about both parties, not just Giannis, not just the Bucks. Everybody involved here, man. Everybody involved.
And
Don't
I
stay at
think
the table too
Giannis
long
kind
and
of,
lose all your chips. You know what I'm saying?
I think Giannis real quick kind of plays a part in last summer too. I think that's a 50-50 split, because he bullshitted around, you know what I'm saying, and took his time on whether he wanted to stay or leave. And then at the last hour, you decide you want to dip. And at that point, you were only making New York your destination. And New York had already made the move where they gave up all them picks stupidly for Mikal Bridges. And you know, that, so they weren't really able to, Milwaukee didn't want to make the move that New York was offering, because that's not what they wanted. So I think
Bro,
that was kind of
I said that Giannis never, you know what I mean, just came out and said it. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. But he didn't. I'm sure he was having those conversations with Milwaukee. He didn't come out and say it publicly. I don't think he was telling Milwaukee, "Oh, I don't know what I want to do." You know what I'm saying? And the other part of that too is the Knicks. Not that they didn't want Giannis, but they wasn't exactly thrilled about trying to break up a team that they really just put together. You know what I'm saying? For Giannis and what they was gonna have to give up.
They did want Giannis before Mikal Bridges, but remember, Giannis had not committed to being traded yet. He was still saying that he wanted to be a Milwaukee Buck, and that's why I give him some of that blame. Because if he came out a little earlier and said, you know, let's make this thing happen to New York, we looking at those 5 first-round picks for him instead of Mikal Bridges.
Mikal Bridges, this is
probably never makes it.
This is Mikal Bridges' second year in New York, right? So that wasn't last summer when you talking about the trade for Mikal Bridges. That was 2 summers ago.
Yeah,
that wasn't last summer.
No, what I'm saying is he still, because of that summer previous, he plays a part in what happened last summer. That's what I'm saying. I have to give him some of that blame, because had he went on and said, I don't want to be a Buck no more, you know what I'm saying, we probably looking at him in New York instead of Mikal Bridges. That's the point I'm making.
No. What I'm saying is, again, if we talking about Giannis saying 2 years ago, because that wasn't really the conversation. We've been talking about like the last year or so.
We've been talking about Giannis and the Bucks splitting up for damn near 3 years. Even before they went to get Dame Lillard.
Yeah. but again, that's also part of why he didn't go, because they traded for Dame. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so again,
Yeah,
it's a lot.
I don't disagree with that. Yeah, but
So
that
again,
shit wasn't gonna work.
it's a lot of moving parts in all of this. Again, I'm not absolving Giannis of any blame. I said that. I said it's 50-50. He ain't, you know what I mean? He ain't just came out, because sometimes people think you being an asshole when you say I want to be traded in the media, and it's like, no, it's a you playing the game. It's business. You know what I mean? And sometimes you got to negotiate through the media. The teams do that same shit. When it's anonymous team sources that say so and so ain't practicing hard, or they late for the team playing and all, like, that's, you know what I mean? It's times where those kinds of things are justified. You know what I mean? Or, you know what I mean, just used as a tool to kind of get what you're trying to get accomplished. Giannis is trying to, you know what I mean, be on the fence about everything. He don't want to be looked at as the bad guy because he say he want to be traded from Milwaukee. You know what I mean? Same shit they used to say about LeBron. LeBron got a problem with people not liking him and shit, which, you know, it's some truth to that, right?
Mhm.
But also too, it's like that's kind of what, when you grow up watching basketball, they kind of, the media tells you, you know what I mean, that when you do that kind of shit, you wrong. So he didn't want to be looked at as the bad guy. You know what I mean? But again, the organization is doing the same shit. They don't want to be viewed as the team that ran Giannis out of there after he got them their first championship in what, 50 years or whatever the fuck it is. You know what I mean? Like, it's when they be talking about images and shit like that, it ain't just the players that be worried about that. These organizations do too. So that's why I'm saying it's a 50-50 thing to me. Everybody here could have handled this shit better.
Right.
For sure.
I want to say this in my as far as my part goes. I said this once. I'll say it again. Giannis isn't going anywhere, and the reason why I'm saying that is because Giannis is a foreign player, and that that's the number one thing. He got drafted to Milwaukee from Greece, and nobody believed in him. Nobody knew about him until the Milwaukee Bucks stepped in and pretty much brought him to America as their franchise piece. And Giannis, to a certain degree, has some type of loyalty to that. And plus, you got to remember, Giannis got like multiple brothers playing on his damn team. No other team would allow this crap to happen. As much as we talk about LeBron and Bronny James playing on the same team, damn it, I think there's four brothers on the Bucks right now, including Giannis. I think there's five total brothers playing on the Bucks team right now, if my memory serves me correct. No other team is going to allow that. No other team is going to um, pretty much bend the direction that they want for Giannis. And I'm saying that because they pretty much got their franchise player at every single major market. And last but not least, Milwaukee's not a major market. It's a small market. I mean, you got Chicago next to next to that team. You got teams like, uh, there's other teams in the East that people prefer to go to, but they don't prefer to go to Milwaukee. Milwaukee's not one of those destinations that people are getting up and actually getting traded to or want to get traded to and become a free agent. So, with all that being said, I feel like they're one free agent away from him staying, and they're one draft pick away from him staying. And keep in mind, guys, they got anywhere between the 5 to 10 pick in the draft. I'm not sure what their pick is going to be, but if they end up swinging and getting the right player, it's game over. Giannis is staying. Giannis is staying. He's not going anywhere. And as much as he says he wants to leave, he really just wants to win. And I think he's just one or two pieces away from getting back into the playoffs and being that winning team that they had before. All right. Moving forward, we got Cooper Flag scoring 50, the youngest teenager to ever do it. Dallas Mavericks got a stud. They got somebody that's going out there that he's scoring. He's putting up highlight plays. Will, what is your thoughts on Cooper Flag scoring 50 and becoming the youngest NBA player to ever do it?
Shit, man. Anytime you can put a 50 in an NBA game, I got respect for that. Particularly as a 18, 19-year-old rookie. You know what I'm saying? Cooper Flag, he got a bright future ahead of him. Um, I, I don't know if the NBA just felt so bad for for Dallas after Nico traded. You know what I mean? Made that trade for Anthony Davis. You know what I mean?
Seems
Sending
like
Luka to the Lakers that they comped them or whatever. But Cooper Flag is a beast, man. Like he definitely got a bright future ahead of him. Um, I'll say this at this point, even though he just dropped that 50 ball, um, I'm questioning whether he's the rookie of the year or whether Kneppel is the rookie of the year. Cause I know Flag is I know Flag is the future, you know what I'm saying? And he having an amazing rookie season. But Kneppel is doing what he doing and breaking records on a team that's, you know what I mean, competing for the playoffs. Yeah, that's in the playoffs because we already, or at the very least, to play in. You know what I'm saying? Because we already got the top 10 teams set in the East and in the West. But no, Flag is a beast, man. Like I say, I don't care that it came in a loss. I don't care how many points they lost by. You know what I'm saying?
A 50
I
piece
ain't
is a
worried
50
about it.
piece.
Yeah, a 50 piece is a 50 is you know what I mean, a short list of people. Last I checked, which is after, you know what I mean, Bam dropped his 73 or whatever. It's like 176, 177 people that's done scored 50 in the NBA in the game.
oh
Like
yeah.
you know what I mean? That's rare company. You know, so again, I ain't worried about that. It was in a loss. Don't care how much they lost by. I know they got ran. That boy went out there and put a 50 in the NBA game as an 18, 19-year-old. I got respect for it, man.
Definitely. 50 burgers, not easy to come by. You know, I got to give him credit for that. R&B, what's your thoughts about Cooper Flag dropping a 50? And do you think that he is the rookie of the year now?
I probably have to lean more toward what Will was saying when it comes to Knippel. But I give you this one. It's impressive to put up 50 at that age for sure. But I know white people got to be shouting to the high heavens. We got two white boys leading as the rookie of the year candidates in the NBA. They saying hallelujah on this Resurrection Sunday for that shit alone. but like, and I'll tell you something else too. John Shire, this making him look bad. You got one more year, man. You got one more year, bro, or he gonna have to be up out of there. Like the talent that he's been able to immense at Duke and still hasn't been able to deliver a Final Four or a national championship, and we seeing some of these cats coming to the league and clown the way that they doing. They being unleashed, and the way that they being unleashed, it's making them look bad. But at the end of the day, man, like I say, 50 is a feat at that age. That's amazing. Hats off to him, but I still probably roll with Con Knippel right now as the leading candidate for Rookie of the Year, with Cooper Flag being a close second.
Okay, excellent point, especially when it comes down to Duke basketball, man. I didn't even think about that. You know, they haven't made a clear run towards the Final Four in a long time. So, Mike, what is your thoughts on?
I don't want to step on Mike, but I want to come back to that point when Mike is done about Duke basketball and the players.
Okay, you got it, Mike. What is your thoughts about Cooper Flag dropping the 50?
He's made his case for rookie of the year. It's a little hard to really make a full case when your team isn't in the playoffs, but I will say this is his team. He's pushed that point that he's the future of this franchise and that he's going to be the guy moving forward. So like Will said, 50 piece is a 50 piece, whether you win by 20 or you lose by 30. So I think he's definitely made a case for that. And I think it's kind of funny what you said that the NBA comped them after trading Luka.
Low key, I agree.
I'm like, yo, I mean,
Come on, bro. I agree too. These are the
seen
things that
things
me and
like this
Raj
happen
talk about when
before.
we say about the fingerprints being on
Yes.
stuff.
Yes.
Stuff like this.
we've
Like you
seen
trade
things
Luka
like
and end
this
up with
happen
Cooper
before.
Flag. Come on, man.
Yeah, we
You
know.
But I
into New
think
York, the
that-
mysterious envelope. Come on, man.
We know what it is.
But regardless of that, he definitely has came in and made his impact known on his team, and he's put the league to some, he's noticeable. So I think that he's playing real well. As for rookie of the year, Knipple, man, he's something. This man's over here really making a difference on that team. You say that again?
I say he out here breaking some of Steph Curry rookie records.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. And you looking at a guy who can shoot that ball. Like, one can even arguably say he may be the second best 3-point shooter behind Curry. Because that man he shoots it and there's just precision. There's just the form. He just does everything right. So
I would still go with Dame Lillard.
Yeah, I agree. I gotta roll with that.
What? Well, when I say right,
or are you talking just active players?
Right now, Dame ain't playing, so I wasn't.
I give you that. I give you that. I give you that.
Yeah,
but he did take that 3-point title, though. He took that 3-point title while not being active.
That's a fact. So but I still think
Knipple had a chance to win it too. So
yeah, he stepped in, but you can see where the experience came in, because I think he went first in the first round, and he sat and he just got winded, like he just didn't have the same oomph under the shot. You could just see it. Dame was like, nah, I does this. Like I does this, hurt or not. But yeah, I think Knipple still is rookie of the year. However, it wouldn't surprise me if the NBA awarded it to Cooper Kupp. Wouldn't surprise me. Not just the way I said it. Awarded. Not one. Awarded.
I was gonna speak on that too. I'll say this: if Cooper Kupp gets it, I'm not dying on that hill, because the difference between the two also is that Cooper Kupp has been the guy with the target on his back all season long. No Kyrie, no AD. You know what I'm saying? Knipple came in and he really just had to do what they asked him to do. And in Charlotte, you know what I'm saying? It's Miles Bridges, it's Miller, it's LaMelo. You know what I'm saying? Like he got something around him. You know what I mean? Like he's doing it at a very, very high level. Don't get me wrong, but he's like the fourth guy. You know what I'm saying? And it is a difference. There is, you know what I'm saying? It is some credence to that. So if Kupp got it, it's not like it wouldn't be the wildest shit in the world. You know what I mean? But I feel like it's close enough that I would give Knipple like the tiebreaker essentially for contributing to a team that's winning. It's not holding that against Cooper Kupp per se. You know what I'm saying? But it's that close that, you know what I mean?
When you try to call the boy Cooper Flag.
Cooper Flag. I keep calling him Cooper Kupp. Cooper Flag. I keep saying Cooper Kupp. My bad.
Mike started
Did I? Well, the other thing is this too. To that point, is rookie of the year doesn't hold the same weight in terms of MVP on levels.
Right.
And what I mean is, like, when you say MVP, it's rare they ever pick an MVP who's not in the playoffs, right? Like, but we've seen rookie of the years not make the playoffs and win because most rookies go to a shitty situation.
For sure. And he was the first pick for a reason. They had the first pick for a reason.
Right. So I ain't mad at that. That's another good way to look at it as well.
I got one thing to add to that. Honestly, don't be surprised if we see a co-rookie of the year award. Both of these guys get it.
First time since Kidd and Grant.
Yes, I honestly believe that's going to be the case because it's too close when it comes down to the stats. It's too close when it comes down to historical feats. Um, and to be quite honest, I think they're pushing him to be the face of the league moving into the 2030s. So that's just my opinion on it. All right, moving forward, we're going to talk
Hey,
about some
real quick, real quick, Raj.
Go for it.
Look, I am not a Duke fan. I am not a Duke apologist. Um, I'm not giving them any excuses, but I don't see championships the same in college basketball as I do in the NBA. More than any other reason because of the one and done nature of the tournament. The most talented team don't always win, you know what I'm saying, the NCAA tournament. More often than not, the best team wins the NBA championship. You know what I'm saying? It's not always like that in college because anybody can lose one game on any given night. So, so it's it's a lot of teams that we can think of that were supremely talented. A lot of those Kentucky teams, you know what I mean?
First teams that come to mind. But
You know
I
what I'm
feel like
saying?
we
That we're
need to
loaded
start
with.
holding some of these great college coaches to a higher standard when we looking at what Hurley doing right now, which is rare. I'm not gonna say that it ain't rare, but we got to start holding these dudes to a higher standard. Like Tom Izzo, we look at him as one of the greatest college basketball coaches of all time. Won championship in over what a 40-year career.
Hey, with a team with barely any NBA talent on it.
Yeah, the team
Like Charlie Bell. Charlie Bell is the only player on that team that had a solid NBA career. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Mo Pete, I guess you could. Mo Pete was around. You know what I mean, for a
Mo Pete
while,
was
but
around for a while.
but like no, and think about you know what I mean. Some of
Calipari
those
has
teams with some of the talent that they beat, huh?
I say Calipari too. He done had a lot of talent over the years during his span of different teams he's coached and different colleges he's coached at. Won championship.
Yeah, but I mean, but it's a lot of Carolina teams, it's a lot of Duke teams, it's Florida teams, it's a lot of teams that had a lot of talent that didn't win the championship. You know what I'm saying? Like we can, you know what I mean? We can go down a list of, you know what I mean, not just blue bloods, but teams that shit. Okay, I'm sorry because I know we getting all off, but Illinois. I was talking about that Illinois team last night. The Illinois team the last team that went to the NCAA championship. It was Darren Williams, D. Williams, Luther Head, and it was somebody else on that team that played a while in the NBA. And then it was like Ray Felton, McCants, and Sean May. Like North Carolina had the better college talent, but Illinois had by far the best player on the court that night. You know what I'm saying? That was like it be college just it's not like the NBA.
I would say they had the better pro talent too because none of those players from North Carolina had a career.
Really
Sean
panned
May
out.
was
I
out
mean,
of the league within 3 years. McCats played what 6 or 7 and was out the league.
Felton was around for a long time.
Raymond Felton was around.
Felton was around for a long time.
He was a damn good point guard though, but he was around.
All right. So we're going to talk about some NFL. A lot of stuff has been going on. One of the big news and big splashes is finally Kirk Cousins found a team. He signed a deal with the Raiders. Oh, my goodness. This is kind of weird. And I'm going to just say this real quick because I don't really got a take on it. But
no, fuck that. You ain't doing that to me. I want your take.
No,
you the Kirk Cousins apologist.
I am, and you know where I stand with Kirk Cousins. But I don't have no expectations. That's real talk. I have zero expectations for Kirk Cousins right now. But I have to say this: is it me, or does Kirk Cousins look like Mendoza?
That's the question.
Yes, they look like twins. I swear they're twins. That shit is unbelievable. They're on the same team. It's almost like they're clones.
Wait. Are we talking Mendoza the quarterback, or are we talking Mendoza from Low Down Dirty Shame? I need some clarity.
The Mendoza the quarterback from Indiana. They look like they can be brothers, man. I don't know. It's just funny because I don't really I don't really see nothing really happening. We already know this is Mendoza's job to take. Kirk Cousins pretty much is just there to be the big homie. That's it. So, Mike, what is your
Bridge
take?
quarterback.
Yes, a bridge quarterback, absolutely. So Mike, what is your take on Kirk Cousins joining the Raiders?
another loaded question. Okay, now let's look at where he went first, right? Right now, the Las Vegas Raiders are paying 6 head coaches
Damn.
on their roster right now. Like 6 that they fired, right? That includes their current head coach. 6 guys. They have won single-digit games for as long as I can remember. You put your faith in Geno Smith, that did not work. You put your faith in all these guys. Now, not only do you sign Kirk Cousins, you sign him for 5 years, $172 million. 1 year guaranteed, $20 million. The first year's guaranteed. After that, I don't know the particulars on that, but obviously, like, they just wanted him there, right? Because from what I've seen or had read, is that they wanted a veteran to be the starter. You know, them drafting Mendoza is a foregone conclusion at this point, right? So they wanted
Mike,
it
could be 2 at 80. It could be 2 at 80 with a team option, and the rest of the years are basically garbage.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, it's the 1 year for 20 guaranteed. At a team option, it could end up being 2 for 80, and then those other 3 years are just
just there
for salary cap purposes,
So what that tells me is they know this ain't a long-term solution. They know that.
Yeah.
So they probably gave him that money or gave him that big deal to kind of intrigue him to go. But be that as it may, this isn't going to work again. Like, it's the Raiders. Like, they are professional failures. Like, that's what they are at this point. Like, they have been awful, like, for a long time. At least since I've been watching, they have not been a good team. And maybe they've had a few good years, maybe a playoff appearance. I don't really know off the top of my head, but
Derek Carr.
Outside of it,
they lost.
They got hurt.
The Rich Gannon team that lost to the Bucks in the Super Bowl.
Right.
Was that
01? He talking about the most recent, like they most recent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, not like in their history. I know they had some other stuff back, like, before my time, but just in the years I've been watching, Derek Carr, and then that was the year he got hurt, right? They tore his ACL.
Yeah.
So when I just look at never, and when I look at that, this is just a reach. I mean, at some point you have to. I think they're trying to rebuild. I mean, the running back they just drafted, Janty. That was a start.
From Boise State.
Yeah. And now you're gonna get your QB. It's just that this move does nothing for him, and at this point, it's like, bro, you gotta. At some point, you just gotta pack it up. If you're not going to get somewhere where you're going to contend, you've made money. Like, we love Kirk Cousins, me and Raj, but bro, you've made your money. So, like, at this point, shouldn't you be trying to go somewhere where you could just slide on and potentially win? That's just my take on it.
Okay. R&B, what's your take on Kirk Cousins signing to the Raiders?
I don't see it as abnormal. I think the abnormal part is when we look at the deal without knowing all the intricals around it. That's what throw you off, because you like him getting that, like, what the fuck? But like Will said, I'm pretty sure it's something around it on the back end where they'll probably end up just cutting them. You know what I'm saying? That if not next at the end of next season, maybe they'll let him play that second year. And when I say play that second year, don't necessarily mean on the field. You know what I'm saying? He might just, this is a clear bring in the veteran to start so we don't go with Mendoza off bill. Then we'll go to Mendoza maybe midway through the season, end of the season, some shit like that. And, kind of make that transfer over. And then kind of let Kurt be like that bridge mentor quarterback. Just that, that's why I say it's not abnormal to see. It's just, but what I'd say to Mike too, though, to Mike's point is, though Kurt has made a lot of money, some people are just about that. And I think he's clearly showing that, that he's one of those type of players that he's about the money, because I'm pretty sure there's teams out here that are in contention that would have loved to bring him in as a veteran backup. You know what I'm saying? But they're not going to pay him what the Raiders were paying him to come back up. The Raiders are basically paying him to come be a bridge starter. So, you know what I'm saying? When you look at it from Kirk Cousins' perspective, he probably like, fuck contending. I'm going to keep getting this bag. I'm going to keep getting the money if they're giving it to me. So can't be mad at it. And that's just kind of how I see it.
Okay. I like it.
All right.
I agree with what Ryan's saying, but also too, like, quarterback is different. Like, it's only 32 of them jobs. You know what I'm saying? So like it could be some combination of wanting to get his bag and wanting to actually play. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe he don't feel like he's the, full-time backup at this point. And even if he did go back up a quarterback and win a Super Bowl, he don't get the credit for it. He on the team, but ain't nobody gonna be like, well, Kirk Cousins is the Super Bowl winning quarterback. You know what I mean? So I don't know that there's an opportunity out here with a competitor for him to go start. Outside of however we, view Pittsburgh or whatever. And again, they waiting on Aaron Rodgers, which is probably, so I feel like this is probably like the best possible, opportunity for him out there. He gonna get to play, he gonna get his bag. Shit. It's the chance that Mendoza, flame out or, disappoint. And he gets a chance to continue to play. I feel like this is just the best possible, option out there for him. We all know the contract is some bullshit, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't never seen a motherfucker get paid for mediocrity the way that Kirk Cousins have. Like, I swear.
Whoa. Mediocrity, so that's
how many playoff wins Kirk Cousins got?
He's a solid quarterback.
One.
How many?
One.
The first NFL player in history to get a fully guaranteed contract. How many playoff wins he got?
One.
He's a damn good quarterback.
No, Akon got a time called one. One.
I agree. I think
like, man, look, I'm not mad at it. I'm always pro athlete getting the bag. You know what I mean? You never know when this shit gonna be over or whatever. Like, for whatever reason, get your bag. Because look, it's a lot of motherfuckers who got championships that didn't make a whole lot of money. That might only been in the fucking league 1 year, but they just so happen to be on the end of the right bench. Right. You know what I mean? And technically they a champion. Like, no, I'm all about getting your bag, bro. I'm never mad at it, but having said
if
that,
you can get it for sure. But if you can win because winning also gets you the bag.
But winning
if you in the right situation. You got you can't be the 13th nigga on the bench and win and think you gonna get it.
But it's very few players who get to dictate whether they're in a winning situation or not. That's a short list of players. Most players don't have that luxury. You know what I'm saying? It's the Hall of Famers and the All-Star caliber players that can kind of pick and choose in that way. And that's a small percentage of the league.
Definitely. And you know what? I will add in there. I think that if the Pittsburgh Steelers added Kirk Cousins, that would definitely elevate their status of being a contender, in my opinion.
No, it wouldn't.
You think he's better? Do you think he's better than Aaron Rodgers right now?
Yes, absolutely. There's no question.
Did you watch last season?
If healthy, yes. Yeah, I watched.
What did he do? What did he do last season compared to better than Aaron Rodgers did?
I mean, he was just a better thrower. I mean, there's not much difference than
What do the
Aaron
stats
Rodgers.
say? Now, this is one thing we can utilize stats on because we talking about quarterbacks. What do the stats say?
But you also got to remember the O-line was trash out there.
Oh, my God. The O-line was trash in Pittsburgh.
Well, it wasn't as bad as Atlanta.
I'm not going to let you do this. We can move forward.
Well, let me just say this. How many injuries have the quarterbacks in Atlanta had in the past couple seasons? All their quarterbacks were hurt.
Michael Penix was injury riddled coming out of college. He got injured in the national championship against Michigan.
Which is true, but what I'm saying is Kirk Cousins.
They drafted him injury ridden.
Michael Penix ended up hurt. It's because their O-line was trash. They had the worst O-line, if my memory serves me correct, in all the NFL. So saying that,
and you're not gonna tell me that Pittsburgh's O-line wasn't too much far behind that, and Aaron still did what he did.
Well, I think you take a younger quarterback that can actually make decisions and have a wide receiver.
How much younger are we talking? Kirk Cousins is 38.
Yeah, well, Rodgers is 50. I mean, so.
Oh my God, bro. Raj, move the short.
So hold on.
Oh man.
Now you know I don't like Aaron Rodgers, but Raj, you wrong on this one. Fully wrong. You not even okay. First and foremost, Kirk Cousins played 10 games last season. Okay. Rodgers played 16. And needless to say, Kirk Cousins had 1,721 yards, 10 and 5. Those are not, that doesn't glare out. Atlanta did not make the playoffs at all. The Steelers made the playoffs
where they could have made it.
The Steelers won their division.
Yeah, Steelers won their division.
The two are not the same, not even close.
But the Steelers won their division off of the defense. They didn't win it off of their offense.
With that statement, I'm done with this conversation.
All right,
that tells me that you ain't paying attention or watching.
I've watched. I'm telling you, Kirk Cousins at this point in his career is a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers, who's 50.
I'm not talking about that. You just sat here and said that Pittsburgh won the division last year because of the defense. That is a bold-faced lie.
Okay, so
we all know that defense tremendously underperformed last year.
They won because of Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, he has something to do with it for sure.
Okay, all right.
So who won the game? Who won the game week 1 against the Jets? Was it the defense who allowed the Jets to score 32 points, or Aaron Rodgers 4 touchdowns that came back?
Listen, man. I mean,
see.
There we go. We're talking about the.
You allow Justin Fields. All the shit that you talk about Justin Fields, he came out and put 32 on that same defense that you say won the division.
We're talking about the Jets. I mean.
Oh man,
there's not much to talk about. But here's the thing. All right, NFL has a 1-year rule.
You got it, Rod. You got it.
I'm not sure what this is about, but maybe Mike, you can elaborate, or whoever put it in the chat about the NFL has a 1-year rule.
Right now, the referees in the NFL are trying to come up with a new deal, contract.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. They're far apart. So from what I seen on one of the shows on ESPN, they were talking about they have to bring in replacements. Now, we remember what happened the last time they brought in replacements. That week 3 game, for some reason, guys, if you can remember, help me out. I want to say it was Green Bay and Seattle for some reason.
Yeah.
No, that was week 1, wasn't it? That was week 1 Monday night, wasn't it?
It was Monday night for sure because it was Gruden on the call, but I can't remember if it was week 1 or week 3.
It might have been. I
feel like it might have been week 3 because I feel like it was a lot of shit already being taught from them first 2 weeks leading into the game.
Okay.
From how bad the wrestling was.
So they're saying, what they're wanting to do based on what the analyst was saying, I just can't. I should have shared it in the chat. I wasn't thinking about it. Came up quick. is that the NFL's passed a rule that if they have to get replaced with referees, if there's any calls made that don't seem right, that don't feel right, that New York has the right to overturn any call if it's not called correctly by these replacement refs.
Which means
That's
more time being spent sitting here looking at them constantly replay something that I figured out 2 minutes ago from HDTV.
right, because now, if they call something wrong, and then now they'd be like, okay, they make the call.
We got to go to
now.
Bernardino.
Then it's like, oh, now New York's got a call and this and that. So that's what they're saying, is because to them, they don't think, the league doesn't believe that they will get a deal in place before the season with the referees.
They fuck enough calls as it is.
Yeah, without being replaced, without replacements, they fuck up calls. Then I'll say real quick, to me, at the end of the day, the league knows they need the referees, right? So it's just like any other job with a union, right? I've worked union jobs. The workers want this, and the company saying we want to do this. And you just got to meet. You need referees. The last time that you had this issue, that you paid the price. It changed the outcome of a whole game. Like I remember, and correct me if I'm wrong, it was a Hail Mary pass, right? And then it dropped, and then they're saying this guy had the ball. Like they broke it down all the way to how the call was correct. But if it was correct,
Hail Mary.
you wouldn't. Yep. Yeah, we wouldn't have went through all that. So I'll just say this before whoever wants to go can go. Pay them. You need them. Pay them. It's that simple. Give them their money or whatever it is that they want. They are an intricate part of the game, even though they get a lot of shit wrong, because the referees are just fucking overpaid weathermen. You can get it wrong and keep your fucking job. So, yeah. Just pay. Just give them what they want so that you don't have to worry about it. And then week 4 or 3, we're not sitting here complaining after a month of these referees, and you're just going to give them what they want anyway. They'll play the long game to get what they want or what they feel they deserve. That's my take.
All right. Anyone want to add into that, or?
I feel like this is the NFL trying to negotiate away from, like, they never wanted to make, which is fucking crazy to me. They never wanted to make referees full-time employees of the NFL. They're still not full-time employees of the NFL, which was, part of the issue with the negotiations when all of this happened last time. They call themselves, they presenting it as if they, getting ahead of the problem or whatever by saying, well, okay, if we do have to bring in, replace the referees, we preparing them now, and we, taking these steps in advance and whatever the case may be. But to me, this just sounds like if all they need is a few referees in New York reviewing all the plays that need to be reviewed over the course of a day, that means that they can, just not pay the refs that they've been paying, and get these other motherfuckers to do the job for cheaper. And just have to pay a few, I guess specialists, consultants, whatever word you want to use. Like, it's business. At the end of the day, it don't really, it don't sound like they too concerned about the product, because they already saying they're making changes to where if the person in the booth, if the person in New York, reviews the play and says that, it was this or that, they can just go ahead and overturn what they are calling out there on the field. And if it starts working, now it's like, okay, well, no, we ain't got to go back to the old way. We can just keep these refs, this system in play, cost us less money. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a, you know what I mean? It's all about money and business right now. It just sounds like this is one of those areas where they're trying to find a way to cut costs. You know what I'm saying? To use like the technology and whatever. And again, we ain't talked a whole lot about it, but we mentioned it last week about like in baseball with, you know what I mean, the baseball umpires, they never wanted, you know what I mean, technology to come in. They felt like it was undermining them. And at some point it's like, well, if y'all fucking up and y'all not getting it right, you know what I mean, and we're already seeing the evidence of it. We already seeing a lot of that shit
Yeah.
being overturned. Like I feel like, you know, the NFL, they looking at that, they seeing that. You know what I mean? And yeah, if they can use technology to, you know what I'm saying, kind of like I say, figure out a way to cut some costs, you know what I mean, cut some corners, whatever. I don't feel like
And
they got an issue with that.
Yep.
and they don't allow people to come after them cats too. Like, yeah, I agree with that whole sentiment. Because if you say something bad about a ref, it's a fine. So not only are y'all able to fuck shit up and keep your job, but you also protect it. So
I mean,
like,
well, you know, I say this: they can't like go to the media and say nothing. But like baseball and football ain't like the NBA. Baseball and football, coaches, players, all them be going off on the motherfucker. Like shit, you know, in baseball, we see them motherfuckers get face to face and kick dirt on motherfuckers, and you know what I mean? All that shit, all that old antiquated ceremonial shit that they still do in baseball. And in football, you know what I mean? You not the players as much, but you definitely see the coaches going to fuck off on them referees and cussing them the fuck out, man. Like it ain't like the NBA. They don't get flags, you know what I'm saying, for going off on the ref.
yeah.
Baseball, they throw niggas out the game if they, you know what I mean, they feel like they go overboard, but they still get their shit off.
You can get ejected in the NFL too if you go too far overboard for sure. But like them motherfuckers in the media, they protected as fuck.
I I,
But
I ain't never I
you
ain't never
can
seen it.
also gather in all leagues. You're able to gather footage to take to the league office for
Yeah.
review on certain things that you may have felt didn't go right. It don't change the outcome, but you can do that. But my whole thing is, why allow me to do that if it's not going to be any repercussions for the ref that got this shit wrong? I still think that in certain situations they should be fined. like real talk. That's just how I feel. I think in certain situations they should be fine. Like that blatant pass interference that was missed in the Minnesota and New Orleans Saints
New
playoff
Orleans.
game.
Yeah.
Man, that was so egregious.
I feel like if the players are being held to the highest standard, if the coaches are being held to the highest standard, if the owners to some degree are being held, then them refs should be held to the highest standard too. I don't feel like they
Facts.
should be protected. You know what I'm saying? Like
I agree.
they got to be held accountable just like everybody else. If they fuck up, they fuck up. And just like the
Mhm.
players got to come out and talk to the media, and the coaches got to come out and talk to the media, and the owners got
They
to
should
like,
have
you know
to
what I'm
too.
saying, and general
They
managers,
should have to too.
they should have to too. But I also feel like they should be full-time employees too. Like that's, you know what I'm saying? Like it's, you know,
Yeah, they should definitely be full time employees. It's crazy work. They say a lot of these referees be like judges and all types
man,
of
lawyers and
lawyers
shit,
and stuff.
accountants. Yeah.
All right, fellas. And there's one more topic I wanted to cover before we wrap it up. We got the Tiger Woods situation. Tiger Woods, as you guys know, last week recently turned his car over again. Thank God he wasn't seriously injured or killed. Will, what is your take on Tiger Woods and driving?
Okay, so I my emotions are all over the place about this. Okay, number one, get a fucking driver.
Facts.
Like we all like this is like your fourth or fifth incident and shit. You are fucking Tiger Woods, bro. Like it don't
I'm
take
glad.
shit for you to get a goddamn. You ain't even gotta pay a motherfucker. You live in goddamn Jupiter, Florida. I know it's somebody little goddamn 18, 19-year-old son. You know what I mean? That work at the country club. That probably work at your goddamn golf club. You know what I mean? That you can get to just drive you back and forth where you need to be driven back and forth. You know what I'm saying? And I
You said
understand it ain't alcohol and all this is the pills and shit, but clearly, like, bro, just get a fucking driver, bro. You know what I'm saying? Not a goddamn golf club, a fucking driver. Somebody to maneuver you back and forth. You know what I mean? That's my first thing. My second thing is, and again, I got mixed emotions about this. He told the motherfucking police, I just got off the phone with the president,
Like,
which
yo,
we all know is probably true because he dating his daughter or whatever. Like,
yeah.
it's like that's the most pretentious gangster shit, you know what I'm saying, I'd ever heard of in my life. To be able to tell the police and they know you're not bullshit. It's like, y'all nigga, you know, I'm hold on, bro. I'm talking to Trump right now. Just give me 1 second, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is crazy, man. I ain't got no real kind of feelings about it, man. I really don't want him to hurt himself or hurt nobody else out here making poor choices and shit.
Yeah.
But I find this shit hilarious, man. Like I ain't got no real serious thoughts or takes on it, man. Like that, just bro, for your sake, just get a fucking driver, man. That's my most serious take, man. Hire a fucking driver.
I agree 1,000% with what Will said, especially when it comes down to getting a driver. Because how many times is he going to do this? You know, and I pray that he doesn't kill himself, but he's definitely put himself in harm's way. So
He almost lost his leg in one of these, man. Remember, he had to have all them surgeries and shit. He had compound fractures in one of his legs.
that's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact. R&B, what's your take on uh Tiger Woods and his driving?
Can I light my blunt before I answer this, Rod?
Well,
And I
hold
promise I
on.
won't be long. I
Uh,
promise I won't be long. But I just got a question for all y'all within that question.
mhm.
I need to know, what is Tiger Woods hiding? Hmm? The reason why I say that, that's why I said I was glad Will brought up that very point that he brought up. This dude is a billionaire.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that. Billionaire athlete here. This is the third time something like this has happened with him when it comes to, you know what I'm saying? We all know the incident with his wife. We know the other rollover. I think the one with his wife was more so involved in alcohol, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Or it might have been the first one. We know no alcohol was involved with this one. It's a pill thing. They asked him for a piss test. He denied it. Like I had been saying, I believe that that's the thing where his lawyer, he probably already had, you know, let him know, like, look, don't give him nothing. You know what I'm saying? Don't give him no piss test, whatever. But my question is, what is Tiger Woods hiding? You are a billionaire athlete, and this shit keeps happening where you about to either kill somebody else or damn near kill yourself. Or you could kill somebody else or kill yourself. And you $1 billion athlete and you telling me that you can't get an Uber or a driver, hire somebody to be your driver. It ain't even got to be all at all times. Maybe he the type of dude that's like, man, fuck that. I like to drive. But you got to have that cognitive common sense to be able to say, look like I'm only going to be able to do it for small shit, running to the store or whatever the case may be, little errands. But when they come to when I want to be party Tiger, I don't want to be Tiger. I want to be Tiger. I need a driver for these nights. When I want to be Tiger Woods, I need a motherfucking driver. And I don't understand. Dude, 50 years old. You too old for this shit. The third time billionaire, 50 years old, too old for this shit, needs to hire a driver to take him back and forth. And that leads me to the conclusion that the reason that this does not happen is because Tiger Woods is hiding something. I don't know what it is, but it's obviously got to be something there that he don't want to have a driver that's taking him back and forth because he probably feel like whatever the shit that he like to get into, whatever he like to do, we don't know. You know what I'm saying? He don't want to be known or found out. So he willing to risk it. You gotta be. It gotta be. You not gonna tell me no different. When you got that type of stuff, something should kick in to say, bro, I'm 50, I'm still young, I'm a fucking billionaire, and I'm risking this shit. I'm risking this fucking life that I'm living right now every time I do this dumb shit. Don't nothing click in to make you want to do something different? You gotta be hiding something, man. It gotta be something being hid that he don't want nobody to see. He'd rather do it on his own and risk it. It gotta be, because that's crazy work to me, bro. I gotta know what y'all thought process is on that. Like, do you think this dude is hiding some the reason that he ain't got a fucking driver? This the third time. And where the friends at? Where the friends at? Where are the friends at that keep letting him get behind the wheel?
I've got a girl whose pussy is so good. If you threw it up in the air, it would turn to sunshine. It can't be but one thing. You know what I'm saying? Whatever pussy Tiger got on the side, like maybe he don't want his driver to see that. I can't imagine it's the pills. It ain't. You know what I mean? Like he can, navigate that. I would assume if the pills is really the problem like that. You know what I mean? Like if he got some side pieces out here that he don't want nobody knowing about, maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I don't disagree with what you're saying, but that's the first thing I think of.
Yeah, I agree. And it's funny because he mentioned that. He said the reason why he doesn't want a driver is because he doesn't want the driver in his business. He quoted that. So I'm like, yeah, you got somebody else. Something's going on. It's not like alcohol or drugs.
But they have cars where, or limos or wherever, where there's separation. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you can create that. You got like R&B said, he's a billionaire athlete here. He can afford that kind of vehicle. I mean, I don't know what his deal is or what's in his mind so I had seen some pictures though. I don't know where they came from of him at the time of this happening, and he just looked so I don't know the word I'm looking for.
Nigga was in orbit, bro.
Yeah.
We can go with that. He was
out of
We
space,
all
bro.
know he turned into a whole different motherfucker when he take his hat off. He be out here hat fishing.
He go like you said, R&B. He go from Tiger to Tiger.
Let me get a taste.
Oh, man. When he's around them folks, he hit him with the hard ER.
Hey, he look, he the one from the hood when he around them. You know what I'm saying? He the edgy one when he in them circles. You know what I'm saying? I ain't go to no Ivy League school, nigga. I went to Stanford, motherfucker.
What you just said made me think of that Dave Chappelle skit when they did the racial draft.
The draft,
and they drafted him number one, and he was just like, "I'm buying fried rice. Hello, fried chicken." And then he goes, "I've always wanted to say this for shizzle."
For shizzle.
That is hilarious, and that's what I think it is. I think Tiger's dealing with a lot of demons. I think that he's got a lot of things going on that he doesn't want the public to know about yet, but it's going to come out. It's eventually going to come out, and I think that he's dealing with it in a way where and I hate to say this, he'd rather die than let the public know or come out with a tell-all, because it's obvious he's on a run right now. He's doing something where he's risking it to a point where he's like, I'd rather die in this car than go out there and let people know what I'm doing. So that's it.
It could just be a simple thing as I definitely believe the nightlife shit going on for sure. But when it comes to the pills and shit, it could be something just as simple as the fact that money keep you, you know what I'm saying? But we don't know what it's like to be one of these high level, high price athletes, and you get little injuries and stuff, or you've been in a car accident, now you don't feel the same no more, you constantly in pain, but you constantly got Nike coming to you saying, hey, we want to give you this much money for this, and if you make this appearance for that, and you know, next thing you know, you done pop the pill to, you know, deal with the pain and make this appearance happen because you want that money. Then you done pop the pill to make that appearance because you want that money. And now that shit trickle into a whole little domino effect, and you next thing you know, you just out here just pill popping and pill popping to try to make the money, and because we can look at it and say, oh, he a billionaire, but billionaires and millionaires either stay billionaires and millionaires because for a reason is normally they keep making money and they addicted to making money. So he might be one of them cats that's just addicted to making that money. He constantly want to see something coming into that bank account because it's constantly something coming out of it. So and if pill popping is what he gonna do to make himself feel good, to what I'm saying, make these appearances and do the things he do, he willing to risk it.
Good point.
But I agree with what you're saying, but with a caveat, because Tiger is gonna make passive income for the rest of his life. Tiger ain't got to get out the fucking bed to make $1 million. Like, you know what I mean? Just off of people buying his products and the shit that his name is on, and you know what I mean? Like on his golf course and all this kind of shit. Like, you ain't got to get out the fucking bed to make $1 million. I feel like part of it might be shit. We talk about this with, like, even though I know he's not quote unquote retired per se, and golf is different than basketball, football, baseball, hockey, all of that shit or whatever. But we talk about, you hear athletes talk about once they retired, like they don't have, like they miss Sundays, they miss game days, they miss, you know what I'm saying, like that. Not just the game, but everything that come with it. You know what I'm saying? And with that, like, I feel like it might be some kind of like narcissism with him, like, because once you get to a certain level, a lot of times you just feel like you fucking bulletproof. You know what I'm saying? And also too, with a true narcissist, it's about the image that you project, not about who you really are. It's about who you want people to believe you to be. You know what I'm saying? So it might be that he just trying to keep up, like he struggled with not being like Tiger like that no more. You know what I'm saying? And that's where all the pills and all that shit, you know what I mean, come into. It might not even be his body. It might be the shit that he going through mentally. You know what I'm saying? After all the shit he done been through, you know what I mean? He tried to go Tiger on his first wife, and you know what I mean, tried to go hood nigga, and that bitch pulled out a golf club on him and he showed him otherwise. Like, you know what I'm saying? That shit wasn't about to go how he thought it was about to go. You know what I'm saying? But shit, but yeah, he done been he done been through a lot, man. Shit, even like we talked about the physical part of it, but like, so he really rolled that truck over and shit. You might be dealing with the mental shit from that. Like, it's, on top of all of the Tiger Woods everyday shit that Tiger Woods deal with. So, you know what I mean? It could be, you know what I mean? It could be a combination of a lot of things that and it's just manifested in these ways. You know what I'm saying?
That's facts. Facts. All right. Okay. So is there anything else we want to cover?
I did want to bring up one quick thing before we dip real quick. I wanted to ask y'all a question. Something that me and a friend had been talking about earlier on in the week, where he was telling me that he felt like Yaxel Lindenberg had played himself into the top 10 of the draft.
Okay.
And I kind of disagree, because I feel like these players today, I mean the league today, they don't really value drafting players anymore that stay in college, multiple years like they once did. It's become a very high draft on ceiling and potential type thing when it comes to the NBA and the draft. Like, saying we see most of these younger cats get picked up, in the top 10, top 15, they're the first round. Saying you have to go into the later first round or second round where you start to see more of the multiple year players get drafted. And so I was kind of wondering what y'all thoughts were on that, because I think he has shown some stuff throughout this entire season and this tournament to make a name for himself, but I just don't think that it's going to pay off because of the league's continuation to want to go with the youth over multi-year players. So some I wanted to give y'all real quick before y'all kind of tell me your thoughts. Some research that I was doing. So So, all-time legends, and this would be like an elite 3 to 4 years in college and elite 1 year one and done players. Only when it comes to college. So I respectfully, you probably won't hear the mention of Kobe Bryant or LeBron James or Kevin Garnett in these lists because it's only based on college. But it says the all-time legends that have played 3 to 4 years would go as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Jordan, Bill Russell, Larry Bird, Tim Duncan, and David Robinson. Then it said the elite 1 year one and done players would be Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis, Carmelo Anthony, Kyrie Irving. And it says active superstars who played more than 1 year in college would be Steph Curry, Dame Lillard, Jalen Brunson, Jimmy Butler, uh, one and done players, Joel Embiid, Zion Williamson, Devin Booker, Jason Tatum, Anthony Edwards. Recent and incoming would be you got your Donovan Clingan, who's projected to go decently. You know what I'm saying? He played 2 years, or I think he came out last year, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm about to say he came out last year, and then we know Dalton Connect came out last year. He was in college for 5 years. I didn't even know that till I looked this up. And then we got Cooper Flag, Cade Cunningham, Chet Holmgren, all one and done players. So it says that the research indicates that while one and done players have a higher ceiling and are drafted earlier, players who stay 3 to 4 years often have longer, more stable professional careers. If they are selected outside of the top 5, they typically enter the league with better fundamentals in passing and defensive spacing, as seen in stars like Draymond Green and Herbert Jones. And then, so that was kind of, a lot of the research that I was able to come up with. So I just kind of wanted to know y'all thoughts on that. Like, what do y'all think about that? Do y'all think Lindenberg has played himself in the top 10? Do you think it's a chance he could go in the top 10? And then what do you think about the youth over experienced college player movement with the one and dones?
I'll give my first take. I'll give my take first. Real quick. I love Lindenberg's game. I think that he's definitely somebody that I would personally take top 10 in the draft if I had that top 10 pick. However, we know the narrative of the NBA is not that. They want somebody 18, 19 years old to come in the league and then see what they can do. So with that being said, I don't think that he's going to end up in the top 10, but I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up a lottery pick in the top 14, simply because of the run that he's on right now. Any team that picks him up, they're going to definitely have a stud on their team. They're going to have somebody that can put up numbers, get rebounds, and is very, very, very motivated. He's one of those athletes that you look at and you're like, okay, yeah, he's one of them. I'm not saying he's an all-star. I'm not saying that he's a Hall of Famer. What I'm saying is that I think that he's a dog. I think that he can put up the numbers and play hard. So whatever team picks him up, even if it's in the late first round, early second round, they are definitely going to love Lindenberg. So that's my take on it.
I can't really speak to the player. I can only speak to your second question, which would be, when they draft players. It looks like, going the youth direction is what they like, but you never know what you have until you draft it. So, if you're drafting based on your team needs, that's one thing, versus if you're like, oh, well, this guy might be better suit for the team, but we're going to draft this guy because he's 2 years younger. At that age, those years don't mean anything. It's not like, you trying to find a free agent and you get a guy towards the end of their career, then those years matter. But to me, I think that part of the system's broken. I do think there's a lot of other portions of the drafting system that are broken in terms of just, players when they can declare. And then, they moved it. You had to do college and then they took it away. It's like they're doing too much, and to me, those years shouldn't matter. You should be drafting based on what your team needs. And that's really all I can speak on in terms of that topic.
I don't think that he's going to be a top 10 pick. Wouldn't surprise me if he ended up being one of the 10 best players out of this draft. Um, and again, just kind of reiterating something that I've heard y'all all say already, like the NBA drafts for potential. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of players that ended up being far better NBA players than they were college players. You know what I'm saying? Guys that weren't necessarily like Jimmy Butler wasn't the best player on his college team, but he's had by far the best NBA career out of any of the because he played. I think he played with Steve Novak. I think and somebody else that played in the league. But guys like him, it's it's
Yeah,
no
he wasn't even
one
nice in
answer.
Chicago like that till he developed.
Say that again.
I say he wasn't even nice in Chicago like that until he developed.
Right.
Yeah.
He was a
I mean,
defender, but he wasn't
but he
Jimmy
was
Butler. Jimmy Butler.
I mean, yeah, but he was like the 29th pick in the draft or something like that. So wasn't nobody expecting him to be. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody expected him to be what he ended up being. I guess the point I'm trying to make is like it's no one answer and it's no one right answer. We done seen guys that didn't didn't have the best numbers. You know what I mean in college, but turned into really good NBA to great NBA players. We done seen guys that was killers in college that couldn't sniff the fucking court in the NBA. You know what I mean? Guys that played 1 year, guys that came out of high school, guys that played 4 years. You know what I mean? And still ended up being bust. You know what I mean? Fucking Michael Olowokandi was a 4 year player that was drafted ahead of Paul Pierce and Vince Carter and Anton Jameson and Jason Williams and Dirk and like you know what I'm saying? Like it's you gambling, man. Like you know what I mean? No matter how you do it, no matter how you view it, it's been very few players that were just like hands down, like, oh, okay, like they one of them ones. You know what I mean? Shit, even Jordan was the third pick. You know what I mean? And it was behind Elijah Wan was number one and deservedly so. Don't get me wrong, but you know what I mean? Like if it was that easy, you know, like shit, Kawhi was what 11, 12 or something like that in his draft. You know what I mean? Nobody knew Kawhi was gonna be Kawhi. Paul George, you know what I mean, was like 10 or 11. Nobody knew he was gonna end up being that. Like we can go to second round picks, you know what I mean? Whether it's Draymond or Manu or you know what I mean, some other play like it's you know, it's a fucking crapshoot, man. You know what I mean? You really are gambling. Um, a lot of it is I think it's only been a very, 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 very small percentage of players who, no matter what organization they got drafted to, they were going to be basically, you know what I mean, almost max out, be exactly who they was going to be. I feel like the vast majority of players, it kind of depends on what organization you get drafted to, what situation you find yourself in, who your coach is, who the general manager is, who the owner is. We done seen a lot of talent go to the Clippers and die. You know what I mean? Before Ballmer, you know what I mean, ended up buying them. Like it's a lot of variables, you know what I mean, at play. So um I'll say like I I kind of understand. It's crazy that they done leaned into drafting one and dones as much as they do when they were complaining about drafting players straight out of high school. They didn't even feel like they should have to, you know what I mean, scout them and all that shit. And they felt like it was an issue. They kept saying that they wanted kids to go to college and play. But when you keep drafting motherfuckers, you know what I mean, that early, they gonna go if they feel like they, you know what I mean. Tell a kid he gonna be a lottery pick. Who's saying no?
Right.
So
Yeah. Good points. Good points, guys. All right. Is there anything else we wanted to cover before we head out?
No, I'm all right, bro.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, appreciate everybody for tuning in to Nerdcamp Sports. We'll be back next week. Is it Sunday, fellas?
We'll do R&B work next Sunday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So next
let's do Monday.
Okay, at 7.
Yeah. R&B. You want to host?
I can do that.
All
All
right,
right,
awesome.
there it is.
There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Next Monday at 7, we'll be having our host R&B as our host, and we look forward to seeing you guys. With that being said, guys, have a wonderful Sunday. We'll see you next week. Peace.
All right,
Peace.
fellas.
All right.